Hi guys, it's Matt. Welcome to the video. I am a compulsive gambler in recovery and I am your mind and movement mentor here to help you. So I don't even really feel like I've got a topic for today's video. I just thought I'd kind of riff off the top of my head. But some thoughts I was having recently were, when I was reflecting back on my gambling days, every day felt like Groundhog Day. Just this humdrum monotony of the same day being lived over and over again. You know, that term has been coined by the famous movie Groundhog Day. I think most people have probably seen that, get the reference. And it was really because I wasn't playing a bigger game in life. I think this can really be true for other people, non-addicts as well. People who feel like they're just on this loop of life. Nothing's really happening. Every day is just the same as the last, and it just feels like this there. And I think it can be that can lead people in the direction of vices. So maybe people who aren't fully fledged addicts can kind of feel that, and that can lead to binge drinking alcohol at the weekends, excessively consuming recreational drugs, cheating outside of their relationship and things like that. I think what was massive for me in combating this was trying to focus on a direction and a purpose with some goals for the way that I wanted to live my life. Because there's that old saying, something like, when a guy doesn't have purpose, he'll be distracted by pleasure. Paraphrased, but you kind of get the gist. And I just think that's massive. I feel like when I was in active addiction, it kind of felt like that. And I guess probably there was a feeling of life was like that made gambling attractive in a funny kind of way. And what you've got to think about is, this sounds ridiculous, but I'm going to make a subtle point. If you are attracted to gambling, on some level you have a zest for life. You want a bit more for yourself. I know that can be massively skewed by the addicted mind that just wants to self-sabotage you and pummel you into the dirt. But you've maybe got an above average entrepreneurial spirit. So you want to try and harness that in a different way and maybe look at building a side business or doing something, because you want to escape just the monotonous loop that you feel like you're in. I know for me that was massive. I feel like when I quit gambling, one, I had just so much more bandwidth to kind of focus on what I wanted out of my life. But two, it was almost kind of like I leveled up a little bit because I gave myself permission to do that, because that was kind of what I was wanting. And it was almost that I was seeking incorrectly through the gambling. I feel like I was trying to escape the monotony of life through gambling. And then it all kind of went drastically wrong. But I think it's a good exercise to do, to think about, you know, what really lights you up inside. What are the things that you just feel passionate about, you feel like you were put on the earth to do, that give you a real, you know, a pleasure, but like a deep sort of purposeful satisfaction, not just like a stimulating kind of fleeting pleasure. You know, because junk food or alcohol is easy to confuse with happiness, but more evolving your character, growing a business, working on a project, transforming your body, something like that are definitely more wholesome endeavors that you can do. And I just kind of feel like that's where the magic is. And I feel like in the modern day, it's so easy to be distracted by society. Maybe you don't have a job that you don't particularly like. You go there, you come home, you eat a television dinner from the microwave, watch something on TV. It doesn't really light you up. It's not what you feel like you were put on the earth to do. You know, life is very short. The time's just wasting away. And then you kind of want to have a blowout at the weekend of some description because you kind of feel like you're owed some pleasure because of the monotony that you've sort of sacrificed for. Now, I get that not everyone can just leave their job and go and start entrepreneurial pursuits and things like that. It's more complicated than that, of course. And as usual, I'm flying all over the place in this video, but I would encourage you to think about setting up a life that you're not trying to escape from, that you feel like is incredibly fulfilling, and that you can kind of continue to get a massive amount of enjoyment from, and you don't feel like you need any time off from it. And where every day is kind of different because you're thinking about different things, you're trying to build things, you know, you're in that upward spiral. Whereas if you want to admit it or not, when you are in active addiction or you're gambling or you're doing vices that feel like they're running you, you are in a subtle downward spiral, even if it doesn't feel like that. So I want to encourage you to think about setting up a life of your own design and kind of what that really looks like. I know that can be seen as like a throwaway comment, and it would be like, well, I just love to be in Thailand on a white sand beach working 1 hour a day and drinking pina coladas. It's not that easy. But at the same time, you'd be surprised at how, you know, just thinking differently, you can set up some pursuits that you can quite easily find more stimulating than the gambling, than the vices. You know, when you're doing something that your future self thanks you for versus things that are just a bit more self-sabotaging, it feels better. It really does like feel better in your core. For me, one of the key ones was trying to get in good physical shape in the gym. You know, I found certain moments of that way more stimulating than any bet I placed that came in, or casino, you know, night that was turned out to be kind of monetarily fruitful, that was just so fleeting anyway. So don't live the same week. Don't be on Groundhog Day. If you are in active addiction, I know these things can feel like they're probably going to go in one ear and out the other. You know, on this channel, I try to plant seeds and be thought-provoking. But at the same time, I really know that I was not ready to accept certain advice at the certain stage of addiction which I was at. Having said that, I do think there's value in kind of chipping away, and sometimes you can get lanes open where you feel like this kind of stuff resonates more, and that can help you kind of build the trajectory of your life as to where you're going and what you can get out of it. You know, if you really feel like you're just in a gambling frenzy at the moment, or an addiction frenzy, this is probably going to feel laughable, and you know, you probably won't even make it this far into the video. But as I've said before, I like to make these videos for a younger version of me, to try and be a bit thought-provoking. I don't feel like this video is solely beneficial to someone who is a gambling addict or addict. It can be someone who feels a little bit unsatisfied or a bit unfulfilled in their life, and you know, these things can really help. So as always, please share this video with someone who you feel might need it. Comment below if you've got any thoughts on the video. Would love to chat to you, and if you can like and subscribe, support the channel in any way you can, I'd be very grateful. Helps me reach more people. I'll see you in the next video very soon.